A new attack ad accuses San Diego mayoral candidate Barbara Bry of sleeping on the job.
It's tough, and the mud is now slinging in the San Diego mayor's race.
ABC 10 News digs into questions of accuracy around the new ad as Bry responds.
A local yoga instructor does not believe the hit and run that left her with serious injuries was an accident. Her push to find answers tonight.
Plus, the new plan to keep diesel trucks from driving through San Diego's Portside neighborhoods.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
Accusations of public snoozes and death threats. The intense campaign for San Diego mayor is making for problems on both sides tonight. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Each candidate appears to be trying to break free from the virtual tie that polls show they're currently in. We start with our ABC 10 News reporter John Horn with a new ad that tries to paint Bry as someone who can't pay attention.
This is a time like no other.
The ad says we need a mayor on alert given the coronavirus, homelessness, and wildfires. But it quickly cuts to a shot of Councilwoman Barbara Bry appearing to doze off at a city meeting.
Barbara Bry has repeatedly fallen asleep on the job.
A committee that supports Bry's opponent, State Assemblyman Todd Gloria, is behind the attack ad. Its backers include the Municipal Employees Association and the Regional Chamber of Commerce. Attorney Gil Cabrera is overseeing the ad.
If it was a random, falling asleep during a 10-hour council meeting, look, I'm not gonna get into that. There's an amusement factor to it, but I'm not gonna get into it. It's the pattern of it.
Cabrera says Bry regularly dozes off at City Hall, but also says employees who see it fear retaliation for speaking out. Still, the ad raises questions about accuracy. Take this image of Bry appearing to sleep while delivering this line.
Then did the same during police reform hearings.
We pulled the raw video from the city's website and found that clip actually came from a meeting about the city's Get It Done app.
If this ad is talking about a meeting on police reform, but showing a picture of Barbara Bry in a very different hearing, one, that plays a bit fast and loose with the truth, and two, it makes problems with the ad, the story.
Cabrera says he stands by the ad. Bry, meanwhile, firing back on Thursday in a statement saying, quote, Todd Gloria's campaign has been reduced to attacking me for closing my eyes during a council meeting. If you had to listen to the long-winded monologues of some of my colleagues, you'd close your eyes too. She proceeded to attack Gloria for his role in the city's 101 Ash transaction, in which the city is paying $18,000 a day for a building it can't use, a central point of her campaign. Bry continued to say, I'm not perfect, but I can read a contract and know when a deal doesn't add up. So here's the choice, a candidate who has stooped to the lowest level of campaigning and doesn't understand major financial transactions involving millions of our tax dollars, or a candidate who occasionally tires of political bloviating.
And in a statement this afternoon, Gloria's spokesman told us that they were not involved with the ad and they legally can't be. He also pointed to what he said were 250 social media attack ads that Barbara Bry took out against Todd Gloria. Now, if you want to see the statements from both candidates, you can go to our website, 10news.com. Send it back to you.
John, thank you. This race has really gotten ugly. Okay, that's not the only twist in this tight mayoral race tonight. Late this afternoon, Todd Gloria announced that San Diego police are investigating death threats he received on social media. The death threat messages refer to Gloria's vote on a bill the governor signed that gives a judge more discretion to decide if someone must register as a sex offender if they had sex with a minor, regardless of whether the offender was gay or straight. Advocates say it ends the law's discrimination against LGBTQ individuals. Gloria says Barbara Bry and conservative radio host Carl DeMaio are fueling the flames for the hate message by publicly misrepresenting what the bill does. Bry responded in the last 30 minutes saying that partly violence and threats of violence have no place in a civil society. However, it's outrageous that Todd Gloria is blaming me while his supporters are promoting political ads that have resulted in numerous personal threats against me. Carl DeMaio says Gloria is, quote, desperate to distract voters from his indefensible support for the controversial law. Now, all of this as Gloria and Bree square off in a virtual town hall right now. Each will be asked a series of questions focused on social justice, the local housing crisis, and how to respond to the pandemic. Our partners at KPBS are hosting that town hall along with UC San Diego. And 10news.com is your source for complete election coverage. Click on Election 2020 at the top of the homepage for stories on the issues and the candidates so you can make the most informed decision this election day.
I'm really trying not to let that affect me in my healing process because, of course, it's really disturbing and just disappointing.
A Pacific Beach woman is hoping someone knows something after a driver hit the motor scooter that she was riding and took off, leaving her laid up with serious injuries. ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chen found out she believes the incident was no accident.
Saturday afternoon around 1 p.m., yoga teacher Fallon Lev was headed to a yoga studio riding her motor scooter on Ingram Street when she exited onto Sunset Cliffs Boulevard.
Gotten onto the ramp and I was driving at a really reasonable speed.
In a one-lane section, she looked to her left and saw a car right next to her.
I'm just bumped and immediately my scooter starts to like wiggle back and forth and like instantly I'm just like on the floor and my whole body is just tumbleweeding on the cement. And I must have gone like 5 or 6 times.
She says the driver kept on going. Later at the hospital, a diagnosis and surgery.
I broke my pelvis in 2 different areas and I have these just 2 bars sticking straight out of my hip bones.
She also suffered painful road rash and a broken tooth. Her road to recovery will be a long one. Lev, a yoga teacher whose income was greatly impacted by the pandemic, is trying to stay positive. The actions of the driver make her angry.
It's really disturbing and just disappointing. There's no way the driver of that vehicle did not see me go down from the scooter.
In fact, Lev remembers feeling like this was no accident. She was leading traffic on a one-lane section of the roadway.
Felt like it was on purpose. Like I wasn't going fast enough and they decided that that was my payback.
Lev now hoping for tips to track down a hit-and-run driver.
The driver deserves to know that that's not the way you treat a human being.
Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
And Lev recalls an older model maroon sedan, which may have been the car right behind the car that hit her. If you have any information on this case, you're asked to call San Diego Police. And after falling below 3% for the first time in months, San Diego's rolling average for positive COVID-19 tests ticked slightly up again. At about 3%, 291 of yesterday's tests came back positive, bringing our local case total to 49,466. The county also reported 6 more people have died. That means 819 San Diegans have died since the pandemic began. A new UC San Diego study is testing the drug cocktail given to President Trump on coronavirus patients right here in San Diego. It's one of many drug therapies that doctors are hoping to test over the next year to keep COVID patients out of the hospital. It's called the Active-2 study. UCSD had its first patient mid-September. It hopes to expand from 2 to 6 testing sites around San Diego.
We want to test probably about 8 drugs over the next year, maybe even more. There's lots that are coming. Lots of pharmaceutical companies are making better and better drugs.
UCSD needs 2,000 participants to test each drug and will use a placebo to measure its effectiveness. If you'd like to sign up for the study, we have a link with more information at 10news.com.
The Port of San Diego is moving forward with a plan to keep diesel trucks out of Barrio Logan and neighboring communities. Our partners at KPBS report the port and Sendag, they are working on a project to create a dedicated road for trucks that skirts the waterfront. A port policy strategist says the key is giving truck drivers an incentive to use the road.
A dedicated truck lane that uses intelligent transportation systems that allows trucks to kind of have signal prioritization to zip through that corridor and jump on the freeway.
Well, the plan also includes sidewalk upgrades, bike lanes, and public transit stops to help separate truck traffic from pedestrians and cyclists. Environmental advocates say that Barrio Logan and surrounding neighborhoods have long suffered higher air and noise pollution, partly due to those diesel trucks.
SDG&E says it wants to convert its entire fleet to electric vehicles in the next 20 years. The utility says it's part of a new sustainability strategy announced today. And it also says that it wants to get 2 green hydrogen plants up and running in just 2 years and plant 10,000 trees every year going forward. The utility says the plan is about quickly addressing climate change because, quote, the stakes are so high if we fail to take collective action now.